Hi, everybody. Making a short video here of the difference in difference specification. So this is a specification where we have two dummy variables and the interaction term of those two dummy variables as our regression specification. So we'll have some outcome variable y. We have a first dummy variable that we're going to call treat here, a second treat for treatment, a second dummy variable that we're going to call post here, and then the interaction term treat times post. And we may or may not have other control variables, x1, x2, x3. So the simplest version of this difference in difference equation is with the two dummy variables and the interaction of the two dummy variables. We can forget about these for now. We don't need to think about them at all for understanding the nature of this regression specification. So that's the regression specification. Now, it's very commonly used in social sciences. The treatment refers to whether a unit, one of the rows, an entity, uh, at some point in time received a treatment, and a post refers to a dummy variable for whether this unit is being observed after the treatment may or may not have taken place. So in this version of the difference in difference, we observe each observation two times. We observe them before and we observe them after. Their dummy variable for post is 0 if we observe them before, and the dummy variable for post is equal to 1 if we observe them after. So it's useful sometimes to look at what the data might look like. And so just before that specification, I have an example of what the data might look like. And let's talk about this a little bit. So we have the outcome variable y here. And every row will have two observations for the same entity. The difference is that we're observing them before post equals 0 and after post equals 1. So then entity 102 is observed before and after. Entity 103 is observed before and after. And entity 101 is treated. They receive the treatment, so they have value 1 for both time periods. 102 is not treated, they have 0. 103 is treated, and the rest are all not treated. So that's the structure of our data. We have a dummy variable, a second dummy variable, and then an interaction of treat and post as the third dummy variable. And like I said, we're not going to worry about the x1, x2, x3 for our purposes. So that's the nature of the data. And if we go down, then back to our regression specification, there's our model here without the x1, x2, x3, right? So that's our model. And then if we go down to our interpretation, to interpret the coefficients in this difference in difference framework, we can construct this little table. And basically, we can ask, what's the expected value of y if post is equal to 0 and treat is equal to 0? Well, if we go up to our regression equation, we would find that since post is equal to 0 and treat is equal to 0, the expected value of y would be beta 0. We can ask, what's the expected value of y if post equals 1 and treat equals 0? Beta 0 plus beta 2. The expected value of y if post equals 0, treat equals 1. Beta 1 plus beta 1, beta 0 plus beta 1. And the expected value of y if post equals 1 and treat equals 1, then we get beta 0 plus beta 1 plus beta 2 plus beta 3. And right, the reason we can simplify this is because post and treat then are both just equal to 1. So we just substitute in for 1 there, or 0 in the other cases. So pretty straightforward. Then we can construct this little table with the values for post. And if post is equal to 0, then we have the pre-case. So that's what the table is doing. I encourage you to sort of look at the relationship between the regressions and the table. And then we can see that beta 3 is the difference in the differences. So beta 3 tells us the difference between how much the treatment group changed from pre to post. compared to how much the control group changed from pre to post. The control group changed by beta 2, so their change from pre to post was beta 2. The treatment changed by beta 2 plus beta 3. So both the control and the treatment changed by beta 2, and beta 3 then is the difference in how much the treated group changed relative to how much the control group changed. So that's the idea of a difference in difference specification where we have two dummy variables and the interaction of those two dummy variables. It's a very general specification, and I encourage you to take a close look at this, and this is definitely something that you want to be able to replicate and remember. I think that's really all that's in this little supplemental handout. Yeah, that's basically it. There's some motivation here for it, but really it's very straightforward. It's just those two tables.